If you lived through the 80s, there are a few things you know about, and there's a good chance you've seen this screen. It probably brings back a lot of memories. Introduced in 1982 and manufactured up until 1994, the Commodore 64 dominated the low-end computer market for most of the 80s. It made several comebacks and, believe it or not, is still in use today with games, new motherboards, and peripherals still being developed for it. Amongst these sought-after 80s machines are the rarer first production silver-labeled ones, with only 80,000 having been produced, and many of them were recalled to the company. Please stick around and watch me open a silver-labeled Commodore 64, clean it up, and give it a brand new life. Hi everyone and welcome, I'm the Retro Repair Guy. Over 5,500 hits on the home theater video and counting, and a lot of new subscribers, so I want to say welcome to the channel. I'm really happy. Everything's going well. The channel is growing, and we're in our 10th or 11th week now. Anyways, I want to also say that, I had made these 3.5 episodes or something like that, but there's officially 11 uploads, but 10 episodes. So this will be the 10th episode. There is no episode 9. It's actually episode 10. I'm going to not do these 0.5 episodes anymore, not to confuse anyone. So for this episode 10, we're going to have something really special, a Commodore 64 silver label. And I want to say thank you to a couple of comments, some subscribers that reached out, left some comments when I was doing the unboxing video, as well as Perry Fractic, who from Retro Recipes, who I wrote to, who was kind enough to give me some information about the silver label. I really, as much as I grew up with this Commodore 64, I really had no clue about the silver label and how they were special and stuff like that. Turns out that there's about 80,000 that were made or so. A lot of them were recalled, and when they recalled them, they fixed them, and they changed the labels on them. So the actual silver labels, the real ones that are floating around, are rare. They're not extremely rare, according to Retro Recipes, but they are still a rare item. So I was really happy to get that. So today we're going to crack it open. We're going to see what kind of shape it's in, if it's working. And of course, we're going to recap the unit and try to future-proof it and do a few things to it. There are 13 10 microfarads capacitors on board. Luckily, I have about 50 on hand. I ordered the larger axial capacitors, and to my pleasant surprise, I received them in only 18 hours. So I'm jumping right in and changing them all. The smaller 10 microfarads were mixed 25 and 35 volts. I'm replacing them with the Nichicon 50 volts 105 degrees that I had on hand, which are, of course, of much better quality. The larger ones I was able to get from Vishay. They were also rated slightly higher at 63 volts versus 50 and rated at 105 degrees. I'm also cleaning up all the soldering around the power switch and other areas and cleaning it up with 99% alcohol. Last but not least, I'm replacing the voltage regulator with new ones from Texas Instrument. For the voltage regulator taped to the metal cover, I made a hole to screw it to the body and add some thermal paste. Using an eraser works really well to clean old contacts. I follow that up with a toothbrush and some alcohol. I then cleaned the rest of the board on both sides, again with a soft toothbrush and 99% alcohol. Here's the completed board with all the components replaced, the bad soldering redone, and cleaned up. Of course, with the keyboard taken apart, I might as well redo the soldering on the connector and clean the pads where the plungers make a connection. So the retrobrighting technique, turning those old yellow plastic into white plastic, obviously not my idea. I watch YouTube like everybody, I experiment, and I try not to blow up the house. So the key is hydrogen peroxide. You know, it's the brown bottle that's next to the alcohol that doesn't burn your fingers. So this one here. Now the exact mixture, I do not know. I can't find that information. If any of you have it, please leave it in the comment section. But I'd like some precise information, not just, oh, I think or I use. You know, so far I've been seeing some people use half a bottle, depending on how big. I went a little crazy and used 3 bottles in the big bin I had. A little overkill, I think, in my opinion. And probably a bottle and a half would have been enough. So you leave that into the bin with the water and you expose it to UV rays the whole night, okay? Like 24-hour period. If it's raining, it's cloudy, leave it inside. You can buy a UV lamp off the Jungle site. I bought one. They're about $50, a nice big one. And you just have it shine from on top of the bin, okay? Clear plastic bin is always the best thing so that the UV rays can also go through if ever you're putting lights around it or anything like that. So again, hydrogen peroxide mixed with water, UV rays is the key. The more yellow it is, the longer you leave it in. All right, so 24-hour period normally is a good. If ever you need to repeat the process, do it a second time. You don't have to change the water. Put in the same one with the same mixture. Leave it there another 12 hours or so, and you should see that yellow turn to white. All right?
Can we play? Can I do the game?
Yeah, we can play games after. Of course.
Can I fix it?
Ugh, good girl. You want help?
No. I just almost did it.
Good girl. Wow.
Chicken is daddy. Get out of
Yep, you can put it there.
I just.
You want to do this one? This one?
No, this one.
Okay, do that one.
I'm just doing characters myself.
Yes, you can do it yourself. Wow, big girl.
It's bigger wings.
Now that my apprentice helped me open the donor, I can proceed to remove the 2 plungers and Q key I need to repair the keyboard. I begin by testing which heatsink will fit on the PLA, SID, and processor. You can purchase kits of heatsinks online that contain various sizes for a very low price. You will need to purchase some thermal tape as well to glue them to the chips. For good practice, I clean the top of the chips and the heatsinks with some alcohol to remove any residue or grease. When applying the tape, try not to touch the surface that will be adhering to the chip. Before I forget, the old thermal paste needs to be cleaned and some new paste applied to the processor before replacing the cover. And I sprayed the port with some contact cleaner. is clear. Everything is there. So as you saw on the screen, it was moving a little bit. Not when it was moving a lot, that was me playing with the potentiometer because I put some contact cleaner in there. But you still see it shaking a little bit. It's obviously not precise. I'm going to have to get in there, try to open up the potentiometer and clean it up really well inside. If I can, I'm going to have to replace it because obviously it's old. You can't even, I don't think you even hear it frictioning anymore, touching. So that's why it's not precise and it was going a little bit crazy, the controls. But the computer itself is working fine. The game is working fine. It's really just the controller, and I don't have any other. These are the ones that were donated. I cleaned them all up, fixed them all up. So I'll definitely try to look for another one. So I think you've guessed it. This one's staying right here. I've re-glued the labels. Everything is nice, and now I have some extra parts at least to make it, keep it going. So new caps, new voltage regulators. I really hope it lasts a little while. And we're going to be fixing the others. We're going to fix that VIX-20. We're going to fix the rest of those Commodores. We're going to get everything going. We fixed the paddles. We're going to fix the games. We're going to keep fixing it all until it works. We're going to the disk drives. So today I couldn't give you a big demonstration except for that cartridge. But I'm going to be getting the more software for it. I'm going to get those disk drive going. Then we'll get into some modifications as well. Definitely have to mod a few of these. Not this one, but others for, sound, not sound, excuse me, for picture and for things like that, for HDMI, for all that. It'll be worth doing some mods. And now that I have a couple, I don't mind experimenting. But this one is going to stay original. It's going to stay the way it is.
Especially now that we know it's a collector's. Alright? Thank you.